Bethesda, Maryland, and this is news that you can use from YAA with your hosts, Zach and Ray. And what's that behind you, Zach?
Oh, wrong button. Pops, that is markups.org because we got a guest today.
Goody.
Tiffany Soucie-Howren, the co-founder over at markups.org, is joining us today, Dad. Super excited about this. Tiff, thanks so much for being here with us.
My pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, Dad, first question to you.
Well, I was going to say, the thanks really goes to you. My first question, Tiff, if I can, and may I call you Tiff? I understand that's only for your friends, but and I hope to be your friend by the end of this show. What motivated you to want to start markups.org?
Right. So my co-founder is actually my brother, and last year he started shopping for a new vehicle. And we had an awful experience trying to track something down. He actually spent an entire day researching, found a truck that he wanted at MSRP. It was being advertised at that. Him and his wife drove about 3 to 4 hours away to go hopefully pick up this new truck he was interested in coming home with that day. Mm-hmm. He got there. They hid the window sticker, once my brother realized that the price was not really adding up in his head, how much he thought it was going to be with tax, title, license, financing, everything. He kept asking for the Monroney sticker. And that's when he realized that they did in fact have a $10,000 markup that no one mentioned, no one talked to him about it. They just literally included it as he's sitting down to purchase the vehicle. And so they started getting a little hostile with him. They're like, oh, well, you're not getting a truck. You're not taking this truck home if it's, not above MSRP. And so he left and he came home. He continued shopping. We spoke briefly just about, he had this idea to put this list, start tracking lists, because he wanted to find a dealership that was at MSRP. He didn't want to waste any more time. That's already too much involved. So as he started building this list out and scraping sites and trying to find a good dealership up here in New England, he was talking to me about it. And I was like, man, this seems like a common trend. As a previous entrepreneur, everything in my head, like, how can I turn this into a business? How can we let other people take advantage of what it is that we've learned? And at that point, we just kind of talked about how could we make this, static Google document something dynamic, something that not only consumers could use, but the dealers could use for competitive research, analysts can use to write about, and then obviously OEMs can use to track. And we kind of came up with this idea very similar to a combination of Yelp / Craigslist, really just like a listings platform that would allow consumers to go and post all the information that we're finding. So that's when we started building that out. And in March, we launched into public data. So the site that's actually behind you right now is still just the listing. That's just the public data interface. It is kind of simple and rudimentary, but very easy to use for people that want to come on and share their experience with us. So that's kind of the conception. Ever since then, it's been a wild ride. We got scooped in March. Obviously, I think that's right around when we started talking, Zach. And we've been flying by the seat of our pants since then. This was just a small, side hustle, something that we're both very passionate about, and it's grown tremendously. So we're still locking down the formation of the company, and we're still in conception with how we're going to monetize the site and working with some of our mentors on that. But in the meantime, we're trying to collect as much data as possible so that we have a very clear picture of what's actually happening.
That is very cool. And, leave it to a car dealer to uh, piss off a consumer to the point where they say, "I'm mad as hell, and I'm going to try and do something about it."
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So bless you guys for actually trying to do something about it.
Yep. I mean, it was a great idea for my brother, and I think that's something not a lot of consumers realize that they have the power of. And so I think just by sharing, getting everyone to share their experience really brings that to light, and how you're not just the only one going through it. It's literally like tens of thousands of people in America right now with the same struggle.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the most interesting things here is that this is I'll say a national thing, but honestly, it's universal because of the shortage. And we've got plenty of folks that are part of our community who all of us went through, basic economics. We understand supply and demand, but we also understand that there are dealerships who are being egregious, and then there are dealerships that are treating customers more fairly. And that's ultimately the huge value that I see in what Markups is creating for the consumer. Markups.org that is creating is essentially we can all come together, share data in one common place, and then benefit. And what's fascinating, I'm a relatively young guy. Like I spend a lot of time on Reddit and things like that. And you see these individual forums crop up, but this can and has the opportunity to be. And part of the reason we're so excited to be partnered with Markups is it has the opportunity to be that single source of truth for markup data. And actually, Tiff, that leads me to one of my first questions for you, which is you've got, thousands at this point of data points that you've collected from the Markups community. Are there any like trends that you've started to see? Like I titled this episode about Ford dealers being the worst. And I did that because I went on markups.org. I sorted from highest to lowest. I skipped all the Mercedes Benz and things like that. It's Ford F-150 Lightnings that have the highest markups. Did I do a fair statistical analysis? What trends have you seen in the data?
Right. So, and it's really hard to interpret because once again, it also depends on who is contributing. So right now we actually have a lot of advocates that they're currently shopping. So we'll get someone looking for a Ford Lightning, or they'll go on those forums and they'll post, hey, everything you find, post it on markups.org. So we'll get these huge influxes on a specific make or model. So I think really until we do have a lot more data, it's still a little difficult because it's just what's trending on our site. It might not be the big picture of what it actually is. But yeah, we've actually noticed quite a few trends. Things like Broncos, Lightnings, Mach-E's consistently have the highest markups, anywhere from 20 to 60,000. I know it's like to me that's some of these cars. It's like the value of the car itself. Bolts, we're seeing all over the place. It's anywhere from 7,000, 10K markup to some dealers that are the exact opposite. They're under MSRP by $7,000 to $10,000, which is kind of weird. Like, how is that even possible? There's almost no competitiveness in how they're pricing these vehicles. Another thing that we notice is the F-150s seem to be consistently marked up by 10 to 20,000. Ford Mavericks are consistently marked up astronomically, and then Subarus are consistently the highest percentage of non-marked up vehicles.
Wow.
Yeah, and if I may, I was actually on the website looking at things, and I noticed that so many Subaru dealers are willing to sell at MSRP. And truth be told, they probably have one of the lowest day supplies of automobiles out there. And yet, almost as a group, they have decided that they're not going to take advantage of their customer base as a
It just
group.
goes to show great values in that company, in that organization, and everyone associated with it.
Yeah, it absolutely shocked me because I spent 43 years in the car business, and people who are Subaru owners have a true affinity for the brand. I mean, they truly become loyalists. They become fanatics for the brand, and so you would think that would give the Subaru dealerships the opportunity to exploit that. But instead, so many of them said, no, we don't want to exploit them. We want to keep them as happy customers within the brand so that when things normalize to a certain degree, they'll always want to continue to do business with us. And it would be nice if we saw that from more dealerships out there.
Completely agree. I mean, you really hit the nail on the head with that. That's definitely.
It was a big business decision somebody made.
And I think it also goes a lot into their branding. Like if you think of Subaru advertisements and things over the years, like they're sometimes you can almost barely tell that they're car commercials because it's all about lifestyle. And I think that that culture that they've created within their, behind closed doors is about promoting healthy, happy, longevity driven lifestyles. And I think that this is reflecting of that culture.
Absolutely.
I want to pull it up on the screen. I don't know if both of you saw this, but this was published in Automotive News just a week ago. Brand and dealership loyalty decreasing as consumers pay more, GfK Research says. According to GfK Research, brand and dealership loyalty is decreasing as vehicle prices go up. As literally the example here is an F-150 that has a dealer addendum sticker in the image. And I'm just going to scroll down to some of the data that they collected. In May and June, 80% of car buyers paid at or above sticker price, the research showed. In addition, 31% of buyers who paid above sticker said they would tell others not to go to the dealership they used, and 27% said they would not return to the dealership for service. There are really practical reasons, supply and demand, to charge a markup. We get it. We understand it. There are really practical implications that will impact that business for years to come. Playing the short game versus the long game. Again, the beauty of the community that you're building, Tiff, with markups.org is we're going to be able to essentially down the line, here's the dealers you should work with. Here's the dealers who took advantage of a situation. We're already seeing consumers. They need to become aware of these resources, these communities, these tools, because, yeah, you shouldn't go service your vehicle at the dealership that charged you $10,000 for, what do you like to call it, Dad? I think you call it air. Is that what it is?
Yeah. $10,000 for air, for nothing, for just the privilege to have purchased a car from that dealership.
Right. And that also, another thing I think a lot of the younger generation doesn't realize is how much these markups are going to affect them when they are ready to trade in that vehicle for a new car. I've heard you guys mention it just a few times, but I don't think everyone really grasps. It's not just the markup itself. It's not even some of the shady ways in marketing and sales practices that hide those markups and slap them on at the end. It's the long-term effects that these markups are going to have on those individuals that are purchasing them. I mean, it could be make or break for them in a few years when 5 years, 10 years. I know the length of car ownership is lengthening because of this experience. But when they are ready, they're going to be upside down and they're going to carry that with them into their next financing opportunity for their new vehicle. So it's something that we definitely want to get in front of that crowd more so that they become aware of it and avoid it.
I can tell you from having appraised cars for 40 some years, there's no ad in the book values for additional dealer markup. Okay,
there's ads. Filled tires don't help
yes,
the resale value.
It does not. Like there's an ad for power seats. There's an ad for navigation. There's an ad for a technology package, but there's no ad to the value of the vehicle for an additional dealer markup, whether it be $500 or $50,000. And when it's $50,000 and things normalize, yeah, that person is $50,000 behind the eight ball before anything happens. It's tragic in the sense that people don't realize the positions that they're putting themselves into. They haven't thought it through completely.
Right.
I think the other scary piece to all of this is as used car prices begin to normalize, those folks that have bought vehicles, and I think it's actually really the group that maybe hasn't paid a $50,000 markup, because those are going to be, F-150 Lightnings that are over $100,000. I saw an Audi RS6 Avantad, which I know is your dream car, with a $75,000 markup. Exclude that group. Let's talk for a moment here about, I don't know, the Kia owners who are paying a nominal, maybe $5,000 markup, but that's a $5,000 markup on a $30,000 MSRP vehicle. They're paying a 25% plus markup. Those folks who bought that vehicle, maybe they could justify it to themselves saying, well, the used option is only, a couple $1,000s less 6 months ago. The reality is used car prices are starting to go back down because demand is softening, and we're expecting even more repos to make it to dealer lots. You have this, and we've talked about it on our blog, and we've talked about it on videos. It's scary. It's nerve-wracking. It could be a bit of a perfect storm where book values of vehicles no longer match up to the loan values, and people who are getting approved on loans that were 120, 130, 140% of loan to value ratios because we had to add in the $5,000. I mean, this is why this YouTube channel exists. This is why sites like Markups exist, is to help educate and inform people. Hey, maybe pass on that right now. Which, Tiff, leads me to this question. What does the future of Markups look like? What are some of the goals that you and the team behind the scenes are working towards? And how can the YAA community help you get there?
Right. So the biggest thing right now is we are launched and we're still currently in public beta. So at this point, we're really just trying to collect as much data as possible. So for all of your audience, anyone that's tuning into this and continues to tune into you guys every day, our biggest goal is just go and help contribute. If you're car shopping, if you have conversations with any of the sales or any of the staff at dealerships, like come in, share your experience with us. As far as where we're going, we're hoping late summer. I know it's like weeks away. I've been wrapped up product side these past 2 weeks, really trying to deploy some really cool features for you guys alongside my brother and our product team. And it's going to be very intuitive. So right now, where you land on our website is just the listing site. This will actually be, segmented out, and it's going to have various different analytical dashboards. So whether you're a consumer, there's going to be a specific dashboard for that. If you're a dealership, there's going to be specific analytics for you. And then if it's OEM, same thing. And then we're tying all of the posts, of course, to that specific dealership and, of course, to that specific brand. So as far as right now, there's some basic searching and filter options and sorting options, but those are actually going to become tenfold. For instance, right now, we like the kind of the look, the listings, how it's very easy to just scroll through, but we will also have a heat map based on date. So for anyone like you guys that are producing content based on this specific industry, you'll literally be able to go and change the date and see at what point dealerships started, hopefully, and stopped marking up their cars. I'm trying to think. And then, of course, we have all of our full go-to-market campaigns launching, hopefully this 1st of September. Let's just keep our fingers crossed. So we'll have our full website built out, which will include various different campaigns, such as a YouTube channel,
Nice
blog, just various different content. And it's really going to focus in on not necessarily dealerships or consumers, but all of what I call the Achilles businesses, software technology companies, aftermarket, things like that. They're going to be able to take advantage of this too. I know one thing you guys are very, very good advocates for is what makes us different is how we make money, right? And so at Markups, obviously we have to make money, and the easiest way to do that is a subscription-based model, very similar to you guys. So we will be launching that, but we will also have the data itself as a freemium subscription at all times. So anyone will be able to access this, but we will have verified users, verified dealerships, and the moderation of everything will get faster. Right now, there's about a week turnaround from when someone posts something to our website to when we can actually publish it on the website, because we do very in-depth moderation, because we don't want people to come and look at the website and be like, oh, that's fake, or they have, dirty data. So we do our moderator, she is amazing. She literally will go in, she'll track the VIN number, she'll look at all the different purchases, and she'll try to get as much proof that markup actually took place as possible. So expansion and growth is normal for a small business such as us. But the biggest thing is going to be how people are able to actually use the site. It's going to be more intuitive based on who is using the site.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Pops, final parting shot to you, my friend.
Well, I don't know that I have a parting shot other than to say you and your brother are doing God's work here. The consumers out there need every advocate and every avenue to access quality information and data as they possibly can. And you and your brother are certainly positioning yourselves to help so many people. And from my perspective, I can't thank you enough for that.
Oh, Pops, that is just so sweet and heartwarming. And we want it to be a tool of value, and we hope that everyone that uses our site feels the same way as you. Thank you.
I hope so.
Well, Tiff, thanks so much for being here with us again. The website is markups.org. As far as I know right now, YAA, we are the sponsors. So go click on my dad's face there. If you end up buying something, that gives them a little money back in their pocket. And you already know how we make money. So help them out, help us out. It's a win-win. Great work that you're doing over there, Tiff. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thank you guys for having me. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. That was fun, Pops.
That really was. They really are doing an amazing job of collecting information that they get to share with people out there and it's such valuable information, so that you can. We've talked about it any number of times. Additional dealer markups are an ask. They're not mandated. It's an ask.
Mm-hmm.
The dealership's asking. So as we keep saying, you can either accept it, you can reject it, or you can amend it, which means you can negotiate some of that additional dealer markup. And it's good to know what the additional dealer markup is at these dealerships prior to going in, because if you can find another dealer that's close by that's half of what the first one is, well, why bother to go to the first one? Go to the second one and try and amend their dealer markup. So it really is just terrific information for folks before they actually go shopping.
Completely agree. And I love the idea of maybe in the future, and hopefully I don't get too far in front of my skis here, but maybe in the future when you're searching for cars on joinyaa.com, why not pull in the latest markups data? It'd be a bit of a no-brainer. We're already talking about markups in our community forums and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So really love the work that they're doing over at markups.org, and super proud to be associated with them. Pops, did you shrink?
I got a different stool, and because just so you know, I broke my office chair the other day. It had 6 wheels on it with 6 legs, and apparently one of the wheels got stuck. And between I'm slightly overweight. Okay, I'm more than slightly I'm overweight. So between my fat ass and the
Dad,
torque,
you can't curse. Can't curse.
That's not cursing. Okay, between my fat butt, okay, and the torque that I put on the chair trying to get it to move, one of the damn legs snapped off. So I've substituted a stool for it that's a little higher up. And so, yeah, apparently either I have to adjust the camera or something. I don't know.
Down goes Shefska! Down goes Shefska!
Well, at least the chair went down.
All right, Dad, let's switch gears. I've got a good one for you. You ready?
God, I hope so.
Really? You gotta be kidding me.
All right, let me pull it up on the screen right here. As we all know, Carvana, the esteemed used car dealer,
Retailer, yes, digital retailer. Yeah,
I'm just trying to think, has anyone ever said esteemed used car dealer in a sentence? Anyway, Carvana, the esteemed digital used car dealer, as we all know, has been facing myriad legal issues in a variety of different states, whether it be a class action lawsuit coming out of the state of Pennsylvania, the state of Florida, where they've skirted by without too many issues, North Carolina, where they've had their dealer licenses revoked on and off, and the state of Illinois, which has recently resuspended Carvana's license only to reallow their license. They can now sell cars again, something along those lines. Well, Dad, if you go onto Carvana's website and you
yes,
change your zip code to be a zip
yes.
code that is in Illinois and you click on a vehicle, this is what you will be greeted with. I will read it out loud. We will discuss.
Okay,
Illinois. And I started my career in nonprofit fundraising. Okay, so I know how to read and write a good appeal letter. We're going to see how they do. Illinois, we need your support. Carvana's customer-centric car buying experience and home delivery has been challenged by Illinois state officials twice in the last 3 months. We believe Carvana is being singled out in order to protect antiquated paperwork and legal requirements that we don't feel are in the best interest of consumers. We've successfully delivered. Damn it, Dad, give me one more second.
Oh man, go on. That's funny. I don't know how you could just write that line and not put a smiley face next to it.
We've successfully, Dad. They have to denote which vehicles have been successfully delivered and which vehicles led to Better Business Bureau complaints. We've successfully delivered more than 1,250,000 cars, while maintaining a 4.7 out of 5-star rating. And we are fighting to continue providing you with this experience in Illinois. Sign the petition to support keeping Carvana and online hassle-free car buying available without interruption in Illinois. And then it prompts you to sign the petition. The petition takes you, and let me share my screen again. The petition takes you, Dad. You literally cannot be making this stuff up. This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation whose CEO made billions and then sold his share. Takes you to a Google form.
Wow. That is so great. It takes a lot of nerve on their part to try to attack the problem by attacking the state of Illinois, as opposed to, I don't know, actually doing their title work in a timely fashion, which is required by those antiquated paperwork and state laws.
Justice has it spot on, that antiquated paperwork, like titles detailing who owns the vehicle. Are you serious?
Yeah, that is so antiquated. You don't need proof that you own that car. Just give us the money and we'll say you own it. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that for a reason. Okay? It's a negotiable instrument. A title is a negotiable instrument. And it's their responsibility to provide you with that title in a timely manner, and to attack the state of Illinois because of your incompetence as a multi-billion-dollar corporation that only lost close to $1 billion in the first 6 months of this year. Okay. It's your obligation as that organization to get it right. Okay. And that's not asking too much, that, I don't know, you actually get it right, that you actually employ people or third-party sources that are capable of doing the job. And if you can't, then you shouldn't be allowed to sell cars there. It's not this hard. And you look like fools with that appeal, talking about the antiquated paperwork and laws. You know what? They should just suspend your license permanently. I'm done.
Truly one of the best, really, you got to be kidding me, we've ever done. And again, just to remind everyone, Carvana license suspended again in Illinois. This is from July from Automotive News. Titling and registration issues continue to haunt the online car retailer. The state says, Illinois says, the online seller has been issuing car buyers temporary registration permits from outside Illinois, not using a licensed third party to transfer titles, and not processing the registration paperwork through the Secretary of State's office. And just to provide a little bit of context here, guys, here at YAA, we're registered insurance. We can sell insurance producers in all 50 states and Washington, D.C. Again, like that go to the website, get a quote, all that fun stuff. Dad, I had to file paperwork with every single state secretary of state to make sure that they understood and knew about our business. And then you maintain a good record with them. This is just what you do. You don't get out in front of your skis to the point where you have an online appeal to your customers asking you to sign a petition. This is truly
because you think you're being singled out. Yeah, well, you are, because you can't get the titles done. I mean, there's a reason you're being singled out, because you consistently have failed to get those titles transferred within the time frame as stipulated by the state of Illinois, or when it was in North Carolina, or when you had the same damn issue in Florida. You're being singled out because you are incompetent at doing the most important aspect of completing the sale, which is transferring title to the new owner. Yeah, you deserve to be singled out.
All right, guys, join us back here tomorrow. We are finally going to talk about used car prices. We have updated data from Black Book, and we also have updated data from Cox Automotive. Give you a little bit of the foreshadowing for tomorrow. Used car prices continue to fall in wholesale markets, and we're hearing great news in terms of negotiating on the retail side as well. So join us tomorrow. In the meantime, remember, FTC rules. If you haven't watched today's video over on the YAA channel, the FTC, we've got about 30 more days, a little less than that, to leave public comments over on the FTC's rules. Tie in directly with today's topic, talking about markups. So Google search YAA FTC. We have all the resources there online. And the final note, Dad, while inflation continues to go up, we're offering a discount back on the Join YAA website. So use the code IFS and you can save. And thank you again to Tiffany over at markups.org. Go check out markups.org. She shared before we went on the broadcast, they're trying to get to 10,000 submissions of data before the end of the year. Let's help them get there. Let's see if we can kind of supercharge that. Share markups with a friend. Let's see if we can help them collect more data. Pops, thank you for your time as always. I will see you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be back here tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, with more news that you can use from YAA. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being here today. We'll see you tomorrow.
A smiley face, like a passive-aggressive email. That would have really helped. It really would have helped. See you guys.